Welcome back. Happy Thursday for those of you that are catching this on a Facebook Live. Today we're going to be doing a design that is amazing for pet lovers. So we had done a design similar to this one, but I'm going to elevate it a little bit better and walk you through all of the steps and answer any questions that you might have. So it's always great to have a wide variety of price points in your shop so that if anyone stops by your shop, anyone will be able to purchase anything within your shop. So this one is a lower price point item, but it's also great for people to put on the inside of their house. It's great for a pet memorial. We'll be talking about a lot of tips of things that you can add, things that you can change to make this personalized for whoever is making that purchase. Before we go ahead and get started though, I want to let you know that if you want to save a copy of this video, just click the share button down below if you are on Facebook. It will take this tutorial and put it on your Facebook page where it is so much easier to find. YouTube subscribers, all you're going to do is click the save button that you have when you are accessing your account. It will save a copy of this video in whatever save format that you have set up. If you have files, you can go ahead and, move that into like Wreath tutorials or however you have that set up. Also, if you guys can do me a favor, number one, if you are on YouTube and you're catching this for the first time, I'd love to have you subscribe. So just click the subscribe button on the video for YouTubers. For Facebook people that are finding me for the very first time, I'd love to have you like and follow the page. If you can do those, that will turn notifications on for both YouTube and Facebook subscribers. So whenever I make a new video or have a new live, you should be notified at whatever social media app that you are catching this live on. For YouTube subscribers, that's a little kind of confusing because I get a lot of comments on my YouTube page. I'm having a difficult time catching you live. YouTube subscribers, you are catching an earlier Facebook Live. So if you'd like to participate in the live, hop on over to my Facebook page, Cats Creations Wreath, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and you'll be able to find me there. Also, make sure you have your notifications on so that you can be informed because life is busy, right? We all have things to do. I'm going to go ahead and pivot you down. We're going to go over all the materials, and then I'm going to walk you through all the steps. So, hang with me real quick. I'm going to go ahead and pull this down. I'll leave this right about here. So, as you can see, we're going to be using the Dollar Tree heart frame. You don't have to use the one from the Dollar Tree. You can use any type of heart frame. However, this one, for all the measurements of all the materials, it's going to work for the Dollar Tree version. So yours might be more or less depending upon how it is laid out. So I'm always asked the question, how big is the frame? So this one basically is a 13-inch high frame, and at its widest point, it's like a little over 13 inches. So we are going to be using a heart-shaped frame. We are going to be using some chunky style yarn. The thicker your yarn, the less you will need to wrap. So I am using a color from Michaels called Vintage. So this is our color that we'll be using. We will also be using two different types of ribbon. So I'm going to be using a 2.5-inch houndstooth and then an 1.5 inch. It's like all things dogs. So it's got dog bones, both an outline and a filled, paw prints and hearts. You will need, on the 1.5 inch, we're going to be cutting 24 pieces at 6 inches long. And on the 2.5-inch pieces for this size frame, we're going to be doing 17 pieces, again at 6 inches long. In addition, we are going to be incorporating this heart-shaped sign that says they will steal your heart and then your bed. This is available from Hobby Lobby, so you can pick that up there. The size of the sign is, let me make sure, it's about 6 inches tall and almost 7 inches wide, but this is going to be the center of our design. So, do you guys have any question on the materials for the ribbon? Both of these are from Craft Outlet. I'm not sure that they are still available, but odds are you will find something comparable. Okay, let me go ahead and pull you up so that I can actually read your comments, so that I can reply to you if you ask questions. That would be helpful. Hi, Faith. Good morning. Good morning, Elizabeth. Hi, Jan. Welcome. Let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put my website in because this wreath is available for purchase. Let me make sure I can get it all squeezed in there. Okay, I think that's in. Also, things you can find on the website is our private group is currently open for new members. So if you are interested in joining my private group, that is currently open so that you can join. Hi, Teresa. Welcome. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. So I find that it's always easier to work with yarn if you put it in manageable pieces. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I'm going to show you how to get started as well as how to master the curves. So with your chunky style yarn, we're only going to be using the inside section. There's an outside and an inside. We're only going to be wrapping the inside. So when you start, I always find it's easier if you just do it from the back side. We are going to add a dab of glue to the back side. We will be attaching our chunky yarn, and then we're going to start wrapping. So let me show you what we're doing. So we're just going to tag it right here. You're going to put your yarn right there to get it going. And then because this is at a point and I'm trying to keep the integrity of the shape intact, I want to make sure that we start with the pointy section. So I'm just going to draw that down just like that. And then all you would do at this point is begin the wrapping just by going all the way through. And we're staying on the right hand side of where we have started. So you will just start wrapping. And I'm a bit of a stickler with my yarn, is I like it to not, I don't want to see any of the frame poking through. So I'll show you what I do. Sometimes from time to time, I will use my glue gun and I will actually tag the section like this. And until you have enough on here, it won't push this through. So you might tag it again as you bring it up and wrap it over. See, what it wants to do naturally is slide up. So it's super simple. You can tag it with a dot of glue, or you can just kind of keep your sections in until they're nice and tight. So really super quick. As we get up here into the corner, let me go ahead and cut that section off just like this. When we get into the corner, so everything is going to wrap perfectly until you get to this section. And let me show you what we're going to do. I'm just going to secure our yarn to the section, and should you run out, or if there's a flaw in your yarn and you wind up a little bit short, you can go ahead and cut another piece. Go ahead and get ready to wrap. So as you are doing the corner section, obviously we can tell that the outside has a greater section to wrap than the inside does. And you don't want it to look like you've like really bulked up that yarn to try to make it around the side. So what I do in this section is I will go around the outside piece. So just like this, I'm going around the outside piece. Then I will wrap it just like so. Bring it back up through the center. And then you will wrap one full time by itself. And then as you get up and you're ready to wrap again, you won't go completely down. You will wrap just the frame. And then we will go down. You always wrap around this one once, and then you will just wrap one all by itself without going through that section. What it does is it fills up the outer section a little bit so that you don't have to have like a big bulk of yarn, but we are covering the inside section. So see, if you're ever lost, like I was, I'm like, was that a straight? This was a wraparound. So now as I go around here again, it's just going to be a single wrap. So again, wrap around the outside piece, then go all the way around for your next section. Don't wrap the outside bar, just wrap the section. The next one, you're going to wrap just the outside edge, then continue all the way wrapping that in. Do a single wrap, and then we're going to wrap the frame. Go completely around. Oops. Again, sometimes I forget. So that was a complete, and then this is going to finish our section. We have just a little bit here. So we can either just continue with a single wrap, but what you'll notice is right here, we don't have a heavy bulk right here. We don't have places where our yarn is kind of doubling up and it looks completely full to the outside. That's how you take care of the outside rings. In here, it's going to be a little bit different. It's kind of like the bottom. We're going to tack your glue as you go ahead and continue to stagger your sections. Again, here is another single section. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's complete. Do you guys have any questions about this wrap? Remember, it's just wrap around the outside rail once, then wrap the entire section. Then on your next one, you wrap the whole section. The next one, you will wrap the outside rail and then wrap, so that it's filling up this section technically with like a little loop. It's a little extra. Hi Cheryl, welcome. Okay, so putting that aside, we'll let you, this is exactly what it's going to look like when it's finished. We did just the outside pieces. And so everything is done just on that inside wrap. Still kept the integrity of the heart. And now we are going to prep our 1.5 inch, 6-inch pieces of ribbon. So 1.5 inch ribbon cut to 6-inch pieces. You are going to dovetail them, but not a deep dovetail. Just enough that you can tell it's a finished look. Do the same on the opposite side. Just a short dovetail. And then what you're going to do is fold your ribbon in half so you know right where the center point is of your ribbon. Let me zoom in so you guys can see. Okay, so we have folded in half so we know where the center is. We are now going to take and we are going to gather right there at that center. This makes like a cute little bow tie. And then we are going to fold it so that the ends meet. Now right here in this little section, I find, because I need to keep the integrity of this shape going, I find that if I just take a little dot of glue, put it right in the center, and then go ahead and pinch that together, that will hold the shape that I need to do the 1.5 inch ribbon on. If you are going to go through and prep a whole bunch, I find that if you just take a clothespin and just clothespin that so it'll stay in that shape until it dries. Again, 6-inch, 1.5-inch ribbon. You're going to dovetail, which is just bring the wired edges together. You're going to cut from the fold to the wired point, but not a deep cut. We don't want it so deep that it's not going to provide good coverage, but enough that you can tell it's got a finished look on it. Then again, fold it in half. You're going to gather right up that center. You're going to fold it so it's got this little cute look to it right in the center. Right in here. I'm just, it unraveled. I always want to try to keep the outside pieces, you know, laying flat, but right here in this corner, I'm just going to add a dot of glue. Kind of push that piece back together. Move that out of the way. And again, use a clothespin to keep that shape until it dries. Now, once those are all dried, we're going to do the next step, which requires us to work the back side of the wreath. So we're going to flip this over. Here's our back side. And now we're going to take those little pieces that we've already pre-glued. This one got, I just don't like the way that one glued. So let me go ahead and re-glue it. And we'll let this one dry. Sometimes they get a little wonky as they're drying. We'll set that one aside, grab another one. So this is what they look like when they're finished. We're actually going to be taking these and we're going to come underneath the rail here, and we're going to be tacking these to the very edge of our chenille yarn. So I'm going to start right here at the very bottom. It's a good place to start because you're only going to need 3 in this section. So I'm going to put a dab of glue right here on my edge, bring this up and over, and I'm just going to tag that corner perfectly right there. Let that dry. Then we're going to come in and we're going to add 2 more pieces to the outside. So this one will go in here. Filling the gap. So placing a dot of glue here. Kind of coming underneath. Just like that. And I don't have any gaps between my sections. All these are filled. Go ahead and take this one that we had just glued up under the section. Bringing that up. And we're trying to keep the edge of all of our ribbon relatively the same. We don't want to be like up and down, up and down, up and down on the back side. Just like this. So let me show you what the front side of this is going to yield. If I flip this, this is the look that we are achieving for the outside piece. So now this is going to form a nice little ribbon barrier with our ribbon tails in it. So the first section has 3. These ones will have 4. So sadly, I don't have that much of the wreath already complete. So we are going to be doing this together. So putting our glue on our ribbon, bringing this back up, making sure we hit that right where we want it to be. It's a little hard with the weld marks, but you should be able to get all your 4 pieces in. 1, 2, 3. And we'll be able to adjust the ribbons once we get our 4 in. So I'm looking at spacing for these 4. That should be right about there. There's that one. You have your option. You can glue the ribbon part or you can glue the chenille yarn part. Just like that. And our last piece is going to come in and fill that section right about there. Just right along the edge. We're going to flip over to the other side. We're going to go ahead and do our other 4. So I'll take these 2 that are now finished. I find that if you remove the glue threads, it just makes the process so much easier for you. And I'm trying to make sure that this one is snugged right up to that weld. Again, like I said, you can go straight to your chenille, or you can glue straight to your ribbon. Either way will work. Just like that. And we'll squeeze our last little section in. Butting that right up against that rail. Just like that. Continue all the way around. In this section here, we're going to have 5. So on the corners, 5 is required. So there's our first. There's our second. Our third one. Our fourth. And our fifth is going to slide right into that little spot. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the other 5 right in here. So again, you will need 24 of these 1.5 inch ribbon pieces. You can get them from Craft Outlet. You can also try, I mean, you don't have to just go to Craft Outlet. That's just where I happen to purchase these ones. But you can probably find them virtually anywhere. Sometimes you can even find them on Amazon. Just doing a search by 1.5 inch dog paw print ribbon will yield the look that you're searching for. I'm always trying to keep the glue threads at bay because those have a tendency of wanting to pull our ribbon pieces back. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and tag that one right to our yarn to show you can definitely do that. Come up and just tag that right in there. We'll do the same here. See, they kind of overlap each other, except for the weld areas. Like I said, those ones are going to be a little bit of a challenge, but you should be able to get them all fitted in. Just like so. And these are great gifts for your dog groomer, for your pet rescues, for your veterinarian, for your dog sitter. So right here at the corner, I'm actually going to start the one that I need right in the center so that it helps hold that V shape. And then I'm going to squeeze the other two right in on either side. They're great memorials for pet lovers who have just lost their pet, because there's a lot of different things that you can add to these to make them very personalized. You can add a photo of a dog in the center. You can add their dog collar, their dog tags. Squeeze that one right up inside here. Okay, and as you can see, we have full coverage. So let me flip this over. And this is what we have. Now we'll be able to come back in and readdress these, like line them all up so that we have good coverage once we get the last piece, because that'll help give the structure a little bit of stability. Just pulling all the glue threads out of the way. But as you can see, it's greatly enhanced the look that we have been trying to achieve. So that is layer 1, layer 2, and now we're ready to come in with our final layer of ribbon. And we're using the houndstooth ribbon, again cut to 6-inch pieces. So the only thing different we're doing on the 6-inch, 2.5-inch piece is we're doing a slight dovetail, just like we did here. Not a deep one. Just a slight finished look so that you can see, hey, that is a dovetail piece. I just think it makes for a nice finished look a little bit better. Now we're going to glue these to the back. So picking this up, this is where we're going to cover that outside rail. It's also going to help hide the mechanics of how you did the rest of the things. So we're going to, I'm going to do it right here on the edges, because these ones are the easiest to do, is the straightaways. We're going to take this ribbon, we're going to bring it up on the underside, and we're going to overlap it, because we want to make sure that there's enough room. But we're going to be gluing here along the rail. Let me zoom in. We're going to be gluing right here along the rail. And once we glue it on the rail, we're just going to fold this over. I want to say maybe not even an inch and a half. It's also going to hide the edge right here so that you will not see all those little bundled pieces. So if you glue it right, I'm trying to figure out placement, about how long that needs to be. Let me look. Always want to make sure we're hitting the rail. So let me flip. Let me just go ahead and glue this piece on. So I need to make sure that we are right along the rail, but also come up high enough that we're covering, and we're going to create a perfect line all the way through this piece here. You can even tack the ends if you want, but right here we need to also make sure that our houndstooth ribbon is going to hit that mark to hide that. Okay, so that if I flip this over now, let me show you. This is going to be that finished look. We're going to have this little tail extending out to the other side. Okay, So again, dovetail your ends, wired edges together, cut from the folded side to that wired point. You're just going to kind of make a little bit of a pocket. You're just going to kind of go right in. And it's going to just kind of cover the outside edge right here. And you can bring them pretty close together if you want. We're going to try to get about, should have probably squished this one in a little bit more so we could have a better look. Let's go ahead and pull this one up if we can. Might not be able to, but we can. Okay. So I am going to actually squish this one a bit. Okay, just like that, because I want to get 4 in here. So if we go 4 here, maybe it's not, maybe it's just 4 up here. Let me look. So if we did this one the same, I've got the wires sticking next to each other. We want just a slight overlap. Let me look at this from the other side. Yes. Okay, so we are going to just go side by side, no squish. Okay. This white yarn picks up everything. So I am just going to, here, lay my bead of glue right along the edge. I'm going to bring this and tag that to there. I'm going to do this one a little bit different. So right along here. And then this one we're going to bring up and make sure that we can cover this section here. So bringing that up, making sure the ends of our tail are about as even as possible. So we're just kind of covering that look really quick. Oh, Sissy, she says, wish all the supplies were somewhere local. Where is it that you live? So now, sometimes you're going to have an issue with a weld in the center. I'm going to show you how you're going to deal with this. So you're just going to measure it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to cut into your ribbon right where that weld is, so that it's basically going to go up one side, just like this. It's going to go right between that weld. Need to go a little bit higher. So right on the inside, right in here. And that's how you're going to handle those little tricky areas. So I'm making sure that these are pretty much the same. I want to make sure that I'm covering the edge here. Okay, so I'm going to tag here. Do the same right here. And then from the back side, it's so weird how you have all these little threads, but they drive me crazy. Okay, so we've got 3 there so far. We're still going around our corner. This one we're going to kind of come up. Oop, not that short, Cat. Not that short. I'm looking, we've got about 3 rows that I can see that'll help me keep my shape going. So I'm going to kind of squish this one in a bit because there's a slight little overlap right there. So we're just going to go right over the top. Okay. All the little threads. Let's see, if you need a little bit more, you can pull it from the back side. But I am going to just kind of squish this one in a bit, because I want to keep it as close to this one as I possibly can. Let's get another piece to see where these are all going to kind of lay. 3 over. We're going to kind of squish those together so that we can get a little bit of an overlap, because then it'll help us make sure that we don't have large gaps on that back side. So again, I'm going to take and maneuver this one. So that this one's going to squish together really nice up against this. It's going to have a slight little overlap. Let's go ahead and do this back side. And then we'll go ahead and do this. I'm just gently pushing them together. Okay, doing the other side, same thing. We're going to squish. Let's make sure we've got our section. There's our 3 up. I think we need just a little bit more. We're going to squish those 2 together. Okay, so I'm going to go in here. Make sure we've tagged that. Bring it over, kind of squish it together. So my goal is to get this next one to fit right inside here. I think we'll be able to do it. Trying to keep my ribbon ends from bending. Same thing. We're going to tack on this side and smush to the center. Okay, because right here in the center, we have a weld here, we have a weld here, so we're going to have to do a fun little splice. Let's go ahead and start right here. Let me show you what it looks like so far when we have flipped this over to the other side. And like I said, you're going to be able to just play, get all of your ribbon edges lined up where you want. Just like that. So that is the look so far we have achieved. So we're going to go around and finish this. I always try to just keep moving. I think it's all the threads from the houndstooth ribbon. Should be able to do these ones just a little bit quicker. I'm just going to pull all my ribbon tails down like so. Any last minute little touch-ups or little tags you want to do to keep your ribbon laying flat, this will be the perfect time to do that. Okay, just like right in here, there's a little bit of a gap, but that's because we have our weld there. And then right here at the bottom. Okay. We are going up and over. We're going to do this corner first. So I think that lines up. I'm just going to tag these two top to bottom. And I'll bring this one up. Tag that. Going up about those 4. So you can do, like I said, you can tag it to your rail, you can tag the ribbon to itself, make it like a little pocket like I'm doing here. Whatever is easiest, your preferred method. And then you can just bring it up, figure out where you need it to lay. Kind of come in here. And then just tag that to your backside. Here's our splice point again. So I'm looking at about how far in, which is right about my 3rd line down. So I'm going around the weld, bringing that up. There's a nice little area right there. Gonna try to get on my other side so I can make sure it stays in the area where my weld is. And then we're gonna glue it to the back side. Okay. Hard to believe that this is the most time-consuming part, right? Making sure that my ribbon tail lengths are pretty even as I possibly can. This one's going to kind of overlap this one a bit. Remember, this is our slight overlap. I feel like it's just a little too long. Okay, right to the rail. And we're going to squish it down just a bit. tag to the back. I would have thought that by this far into the process, I would have already been like, okay, I already know roughly how big it needs to be. No. So I have that right on the top so I can squish the bottom over a bit. Going up in here. Like I said, we're about 4. Right about there works. So right along the rail. And we're getting into our center. So we've got to get our other little piece in here. Oop, there's our rail. So again, another splice. So this one looks like it's about the 3rd. I'm gonna go right in between, because there's a section here. Want to make sure that I'm covering this little piece up here. So now I'm going to go along here and get that side piece where I need it to be. Bringing this in. So this is going to come along this rail right here. And this piece in here is going to, this will be a fun piece to try to squeeze that last little piece in. Let's see what we can do, because we've got a rail here. I'm trying to make sure that it's even with the outside pieces down here, and that looks like it's going to be a good fit. Okay, I'm going to go right on the inside, attach that. I think we're going to do right in here, just like so. So now it's like giving you a really beautiful look on the back side. So now at the bottom, it's a little bit different because we have very small section. So again, I'm going to tag anything I want to stay in the place I need it to stay. And then we're going to squeeze those in. So we have 2 pieces. So I'm going to look at this. We might have to go grab another piece. Look at how these lay. Look at that one. Let's see how this one looks. And then before I glue these final 2, I'm going to compare this bottom point and make sure that I'm overall happy with the way that it looks before I actually glue that in place. So let's flip it over. And like I said, this is where you can start to manipulate all your ribbons. so that it achieves the coverage you'd like for the outside pieces. So you can bring these down, you can overlap. But I definitely feel like we need a piece right here. So let's just cut a piece. And we'll see what we can do to kind of squeeze this last one in, because I want it completely all the way around. Let's do a shallow dovetail again, because I would like this, if I'm keeping it the same, I would like it to look like that is initially what I'm attempting to go for. So how we can make that work, we're gonna figure it out really quick. So I'm gonna flip this over. So I think I've got to get my center in first, because we can slightly overlap the other ones. So I'm thinking if we pull this and then squish it down, right, like in here. I think if we can get this one to do this look, I think we will have achieved what we are desiring. So let's go underside here, so that when we hit those, then we can scrunch them together. Just like that. I'm not going to glue this one in place just yet, because I want to make sure that the length for the ribbon matches all the others. So if this one was to go in here, yes. So I'm making sure that the ribbon length is even, that like we don't have an overly long piece here. So now I am going to, we're going to see if this will work. I'm just going to kind of create a little bit of a pocket. Slide that right on in. So I need this to stay right at that center point. So let's go ahead and put this one in, up and over our 4. That'll work out nice. Okay, and then we're going to put the other one in, and then we'll tack it down on the back side. Nice. So we kind of finished the corner, so always do the center and then do your sides. And then now we're tacking that. And now we'll do this side and this side, so that all of those pieces now are intact. Ta-da! So I like the way that it creates a very clean look on the back, so that you can't quite see exactly what it is that we have done here. Flipping this back over to this side, like I said, just make adjustments to your ribbon tails any way you would like them to lay. I try to just like manipulate them a little bit to where they cover those weld areas, just like that. You can take a lint roller and remove all the, mostly it's the threads from our black ribbon. And we'll go ahead and pull this one up and over, just like that, so that this is the look that we have achieved thus far. Just like so. What do you guys think so far? Gorgeous? Okay, now we're going to add that sign. So this is the sign that is going to fit nice and snug right into the center that says they will steal your heart and then your bed. If you're a pet owner, it generally works out that way. At some point, your pet will find your bed, and then they are there. So what I'm going to do is because there's a slight little gap right here, I'm going to be adding my pipe cleaner hanger to the center down here so that we can secure it into the frame, because that's where it's touching nice and snug. Or you can simply put it right here at the top. It's entirely up to you. So I'm thinking if we put it right here at the bottom, right here, it's so nice when it just fits perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and grab 2 pipe cleaners. Since we're going into that vintage white yarn, that's where we're going to be adding that. On the back side, I'm just going to be taking and stapling a pipe cleaner right here to the center. There's 1 and 2. We'll add a dab of glue just to ensure those stay intact. We'll do a nice little twist to make sure that doesn't come out. We'll add 1 here to the bottom as well. Last 2. Slight twist. And then we're going to go ahead and add that. Now, because we know right where the frame is, it is super easy for us to attach the sign. So I'm going to do the bottom one first, because there's a weld right here in the center. There's that one. And you can kind of just work your finger in so that you can find them. Go ahead and pull that nice and tight down towards the bottom. Before I tighten that, I want to get my ones up here at the center, hitting my weld. Sometimes you can just push it right through their chenille yarn and it'll just pop out the other side, like that one did. So I'm going to do this flat from the back. You can go ahead and make a hanger here if you'd like. Just crisscross your pipe cleaners over and then wrap them around each other. And there you've added a hanger, although you might want to do it a little bit different. Some people like their hearts a little bit on the lopsided side. So that one is all nice and tight. And we're simply going to tuck that right back down into the center. There is our sign. Let's make sure we pull all of our ribbon tails back out. And then let's make a cute, simple hand-tied bow that we can add. We can put it here at the top. You can put it off to the side. But let me show you how simple it is to make using 1.5 inch ribbon. This was from Costco quite a while ago. So first of all, you need to determine how deep do you want your tails to be. Do you want a really long tail? Like if we were doing one to the side, we wouldn't want it to impact our sign, maybe kind of brush the tops. So right there is about 5 inches. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to dovetail the end. That'll help clean up all those weird frays. Then we're going to go ahead and measure out. I'm going to do 6. and I'm going to gather. You're going to twist. Then you're going to do, let's see, with a 6 inch, we're going to do about a 3.5 inch loop. So that's going to be about 7 inches. So 7 inches we're going to gather. We're going to transfer to this hand. You're going to do another little twist. Then you're going to measure out another 7 inches. You're going to gather. You're going to bring that back and hand it to the other hand. A nice little twist. And then we're going to do another 6 inches. So right here with everything in my hand, I'm going to fasten it with a pipe cleaner. And I've already got one side of my ribbon tails dovetailed, so I'm going to do this one. I left this one just a little bit longer. So now we have them both equally done. Let's fix that pipe cleaner in the center so that we don't see that. So we're just going to cut off about a 2-inch piece of ribbon. We're going to fold that over, and then over itself, I'm going to make sure I've cut more than enough. Yes, I have. We want to make sure that it can go up and around and then tag in the back. So I'm going to open my pipe cleaner. I'm going to glue one side of that folded over ribbon right to the center. Lay a bead of glue right on the other. We're just going to pick that up and place that right over the top. And then this way, when we fan it out this side, you don't see the pipe cleaner. And we have a cute little ribbon. And then where you want to place it, well, that's going to be entirely up to you. Everyone's got their own unique look. So we could add it here to the center, like that. Just like that. Super cute. I kind of like it there. You could kind of put it off to the side, which is nice too. You put it off to the other side, or you can put it down at the bottom. But I'm thinking I kind of like it right here at the top. Although this was super cute too. Which do you think? Do you guys think we should do it to the center? Or do you think we should do it off to the side? I'll have you guys vote and tell me. Side bow or middle bow? Side or middle? Elizabeth says center. Let's see what else. Teresa, she says, I love this one. I'm going to finish watching the replay. Have a meeting to go to. Have a great rest of your day. Same to you as well. Cheryl says, this is so darn cute. Elizabeth, loved the design and your sign. Cheryl says side. Everyone else says side. Here's the great thing. You can move it wherever you want. Because you can make it to where it's removable off to the side. Just like that. Or you can put it right in the center. Just like that. I don't know. So you guys are getting a good view because you can see it both ways. I feel like it needs to be in the center for some reason. But then sometimes if we add it to the center, we don't get to see our heart all the way. Might be cute with a bow on each side. Yeah, you could definitely do that. But then I think it really... I mean, I thought about that too, Cheryl. Put one here and one here. You'd have to go a little bit smaller, I think, on the bow size. At least with the tails. I'm going to do it to the side. So again, same thing. Just simply take that chenille stem and poke it right through the bottom. Same thing. All you have to do is really just push it through the yarn. And I'm going to make this available faces bottom center. I like that idea too, except that it would be hard for me to see that it does come to a point. So I'm going to do it there, but I'm just going to leave the loop in the back so that if the customer wants to change the bow location and put it in the center or put it to the other side, put it here, or maybe they don't want a bow on it at all, maybe they want to add, you know, like this could be a pet memorial wreath and they want to add their dog's color with their dog tag. That is definitely something that they can do as well. I like making it to where they can personalize it to achieve the look they want. You could also too, they have these like little wooden beads. They have them in white and they have it in beige. We could add a wooden bead to the center of that too. I kind of like that look. I think I'm going to put the wooden bead there. But because it's got holes on both sides, I'm going to go and just add this right to that center so that we don't see the holes on the sides. And there is our adorable pet lover wreath. So let's go ahead and put it up on the door. I'm going to pivot you up. Hi everyone. So this behind me is a full-size door. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to show you what this size wreath looks like on the door. Let me measure this one really quick. When you add them to your shop, do you take pictures of the bow in several places and let them know they can move the bow around? You can. You can take the bow off. If I do like seasonal bows, I'll add the different looks, like the different seasonal things. And you could do that even a Halloween bow, add a fall bow. Let me give you the measurements, and I'm measuring from end of ribbon to end of ribbon is 18.5 inches wide. End of ribbon to end of ribbon's 19 inches long. And the great thing about this is it's actually thin enough that you can put this on a storm door. Wow, that's an interesting thing. I'm like, when I just lifted that like a pancake, I could see all my glue threads. But now, there is our holder. Let's go ahead and put that up. Black door, great for figuring out, hey, here's where all your glue threads are. Now if I can get them to stop sticking to me. Going to actually, I don't want to stick. See, the hanger on mine just forces everything to stick out so far. I don't like it sticking out so far. There we go. That to me looks better. Because if I want to get a true picture of size from the side, I need it flat, not like poofed out. So again, fluff all your ribbon tails, make all your last minute adjustments. Like Cheryl said, you know, if you're doing this to where there's an option to change bow locations, you can take pictures that show, hey, here's what this looks like if you put the bow in the center. Here's what it looks like if you put the bow off to the side. But that is what it would look like on a full-size front door so that you kind of have a good comparison as far as size goes. Because when we think 19, 18 inches, we're like, wow, you know, 36-inch door, that's going to be small. Actually, it looks really, really nice. So, any last minute questions I can answer for you? Hi, June. Welcome. She says, I'm going to watch you on YouTube later. No worries. Okay. Well, thank you guys for joining me. Can't wait to show you what's coming next week. I think you're going to like this one. And I will talk to you very soon. Have a blessed weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.